Hey everybody, coming at you from my gear room. I am very extremely excited because I got in my new tropical lightweight rucksack from the Hidden Woodsmen. Now this is called a tropical lightweight rucksack, but it's basically a kind of like a revamp of the Alice pack, and it fits on an Alice frame. So I got in the new pack, new shoulder straps, new kidney pad or waist belt. So I'm going to assemble it, and I thought instead of assembling it and then just running out in the woods and using it, I thought it'd make a good video to show y'all how it goes on the frame and the straps and waist belt and all that. So once we get it on, we're going to take it out and hike around with it and see how it feels and adjust it, and talk about the adjustment and how much weight it can carry. And I'm going to show you a few things about the differences to begin with between this and my old wore out Alice. So let's take a look at the differences. So let's have a look at my old Alice. Okay, my old Alice is woodland camo with 3 pockets on it. Alright, my new tropical lightweight rucksack is woodland camo with 3 pockets. Now some of the difference is this, I'm not sure how thick this material is, but the Hidden Woodsman is a 500D, very heavy material. These, on the pockets, you have snaps on the original that you have to snap together, and then they've got these old-fashioned metal adjustments on them. The Hidden Woodsman has the Fastex buckles that you can adjust very easily. Up on the top, the old Alice has got these things here that don't come apart. You have to basically adjust them open and slide them to the side to get into the top. The Hidden Woodsman version, tropical lightweight sack, has Fastex buckles. Alright. Now when you're looking in the inside, I don't know if you can see down there and there or not, but the inside of that pack is all woodland camo, very dark down in there, with a woodland camo pocket on the back side for putting things in. This, the new lightweight rucksack, is not woodland camo inside. It's a little bit lighter with an orange bottom that kind of lightens it up to where you can see things, and then it's got an orange pocket on the back side here for various items that is orange too, and it lends a little bit more light in it. This has a drawstring to pull close once you have it packed, just like the Alice. I think the Alice has got one. The Alice has got one with one of these real old, weird looking big things right here. Now, and up on the top of the Alice, on the lid of the Alice, it has these 2 tabs that you pull apart. It's got a little compartment in the top for like maps and things. The Hidden Woodsman has a mesh pouch with a zipper that is really nice right there. I like that because you can just kind of glance at it and see what's in that upper pouch. Now on the back side, like I say, this is made to fit on an Alice. The Alice pack has straps on the side here, and what they do is they fit onto the Alice frame. Some people say they go in this little triangle, some say they go in this hole. This new version has got a strap going straight across the back that just simply goes around the frame. Nothing to it. Alright, so that's the main differences in the pack. So now let's have a look at the kidney belt or waist belt. This is the factory Alice belt. See how small it is? And then it's got this type of buckle here that you have to kind of pry apart. This thing doesn't come undone easily, but when you do want it to come undone easily, kind of a pain. Very secure, but kind of hard to get together. And then it's got this right here on the back, a Fastex buckle that you use to attach it to the frame. Now look at the look at the size, look at the comparison of the size here. How much bigger and padded and nicer this is. Now this is very significant because the shoulder straps don't necessarily hold the weight of the pack. A lot of people make a mistake of loading down a pack and putting all the weight on the shoulder straps, when actually the weight of the pack should be supported by your hips by the belt. And I'll explain that further once we get it together and get out into the field. But it's got a nice, easy to put together, large Fastex buckle. It's almost twice as big, the padding. And then on the back side, it has double straps to secure it to the Alice. Okay, so that's the new waist pad right there. Let's take a look at the straps now. These are the original Alice pack straps. And what they have is they have webbing up on the top with this same type of metal pull that you have to use. And then down here, the quick release, there's a bunch of complicated mechanisms that if they're all there in good shape, they work good, but if they don't work, they're hard to deal with. There's a snap and a little prong that goes in there, and that slides over the hook. And there's your quick release. This slides back over the hook. This slides through the loop, and then this buttons down. There's a quick release. Now there's a right and left. You can tell by the way they're curved. They're very padded. They have the cordura on them. They're very wide. Now, the Hidden Woodsman version are much more narrow, which is very significant in what I said that we're going to look at later out in the field, where the kidney belt or waist belt is really what holds up the weight, because the weight sits on your hips. This has a much more simpler quick release Fastex buckles. It's got a cross piece to keep them from spreading out. On the Alice, it doesn't have a piece that keeps these from spreading out. And on the back side, these are a little bit more narrow, but on the back side, it's got this real nice mesh on it with these perforations in it, which will be good for if you're just wearing a t-shirt, and it'll keep you from, I don't know, it kind of dries a little better, because if you're just wearing, in the winter this is okay, but in the summertime, this cloth, if you start sweating, it'll just saturate it and start rubbing you, and this tends to dry a lot faster. So let's start assembling this on the frame now that we've gone over the components and the difference of the components. Here's my Alice frame. It's what I took the Woodland Camo pack off. Now, the medium and the large are the same, the frames are, but the packs are different. The large has to have a frame. The medium doesn't have to. It can be run with no frame. So I'm going to take my old pack and just throw the straps on and use it as a frameless pack for my kayak. So, something else that a lot of people don't know. These frames, there's 3 different Alice frames, and the beauty of the new Hidden Woodsman pack is it doesn't matter which frame you have, it's going to fit. There's the LC1 that was in the early 70s to late 70s, and it was a flat black color, and it was very flat. This part was flat, and then it curved up on the end. And then there's the LC2, which is a real dark green color generally, and it started the curve up here, and it was from the 70s to the early 80s. And then there's the final version of it before they came out with the Molly packs called the LC3, and it's sort of a grayish green, sage green looking color, and it was curved here, and that's what this is. This is an LC3. And this was from like the, I don't know, the middle 80s maybe up into the 90s. So anyway, these Alice frames, they're lightweight. This hole here is for a strap. Supposedly the straps go through here, but the large Alice, the strap goes around here twice to keep from cutting it right here. The straps, your shoulder straps, go through this radius part, and then the kidney belt goes through here. And these things are supposed to be moving around. They're supposed to be flexible. They're not supposed to move around. And then there's a curve here with some rivets. I think the LC1 might have been a flat bar. LC2 and 3 had a curve to it. But any of the 3 frames will work. So, and then there's some places up here at the top to keep the shoulder straps from moving in or out, but we've got a cross strap, so we're not necessarily that worried about that. So let's assemble it, see how simple it is to put this thing together. There's different orders that you can put this thing together in, but for me it's easiest to put the waist belt on first. because that way you can reach through here and help tighten things up. So what you want to do is you want to lay it down with the frame in front of you, and you want the male end to your right. Okay. What you do is you take these two straps and you want to run these straps through here, just like this. Alright. Okay. You got that run through there. Then what you want to do is run it through the other side, just like that. Alright, so you're going to be running these things from left to right. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to take them one at a time, and you want to run them. Well, let me pull the camera down so that you can see a little bit closer the way this is, so that it's not done backwards. Alright, I got you down a little bit closer where you can kind of see. The way these buckles are made is there's a groove here and a groove here. This is curved, and then there's some like indentations in here. So what you want to do is you want to take the strap and you want to go from the bottom straight up into the middle, just like that. You can do this backwards, and if you do, it'll get loose. Come up from the bottom, and then where these ribs are, you want to go around and just push it through, just like that. And so what that does is when it pulls tight, it locks in, or you can pull it to tighten it. See how tight that is? Now this thing here, you pull over to loosen it if you want to take it apart. Okay. I'm going to leave it a little bit loose right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how, after we're going to center it up after I get them together. But I'm going to get down and show you a real close view of this other one, just so make sure that you'll get the little ribs facing up. Just go up from the bottom. Okay, you got it, just like that, and you can still see the ribs. Then what you want to do is you want to go under, well, back in like that, and then pull it through, and then give it a tug. That way you can make sure that it's tight. We have just attached these buckles here. Okay, what we want to do is we want to center up this square in the middle of the frame. Now the easiest way of doing that is just stand the frame up just like this. And what you want to do is you want to take these buckles and you want to feed these buckles in through the loops here. And you'll feed just a little bit of this webbing through this loop here. And you're going to start pulling this. See why I say this is a little bit easier without the other stuff on. You're going to start pulling those, and then you're going to kind of see, where's my hand over here? I'm looking at the camera backwards. You have to kind of give this a little bit of a pull. Now once you've got these things pulled through to where you look like this square is in the center of your frame, then what you want to do, you can just lay it down flat like this, and then just start tightening this stuff up right here, just like that. Give that a good pull, just like that. But then you want to flip your frame over, and you want to make sure that your square is pretty much in the center of the frame. You can have a little bit of slop in it, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be that tight. Either with these things right here, the way they dangle around, if you want to, you can just run them through here. Run them through here, and maybe you can tuck them under here if you want to, or you can run them back under and put some tape on them to keep them from flopping down everywhere. So there's a kidney belt. All right, let's move on to the next step. Next step is just a CSpot Run, easy as pie. Anybody can do it. What you do is lay down the pack backwards, and you just take your frame. Okay, we've got our kidney belt on. Snap them together, keep them out of the way. And all you got to do is just run it up under here, and just slide it up inside here, and that's it. Now let's turn it this way. What you want to do is you just want to cinch this up. This is already put together for you. That's all you got to do. And then if you want to, you can take this thing, maybe wrap it around a few times, and just put some tape or something on it to keep it from hanging down. Alright, so there's that part. Move on to the final part, the straps. So this part, it's impossible to put these things on wrong, okay? Because they only go on one way. The woodland camo goes out, and then these loops go on the bottom. Alright, so the way you do that is you undo the Fastex buckle just like this. I'm going to lay this one here. I'm going to lay this one here. I'm going to move these up here. And what you want to do now is that, see, the bottom straps have a loop sewn in them. So what you want to do with them is you want to go, see this big radius hole right here? What you want to do, make sure I haven't got it turned over. You want to run this bottom through the outside. I think it's the outside. Yeah. You run it through the outside, just like that. And then you run this part through the opening. Okay. Now sometimes you get confused. You can run it from the bottom up, or you can run it from the outside up, and I don't know if that makes a difference, but that's basically what you're looking at right there. Okay, because if you put it in this little triangle here over a period of 80 to 100 hours, you could cut your webbing, and that's why they've got this nice radiused hole right here. Okay, so, and then there you go, you've got this out here. Let me lean this down a little bit, make sure that you are getting this. So what you want to do is you want to have it just like it's going to go. You want to go in from the outside like that. Let me pull a little bit more of this. These things have already got the webbing fed into them. Alright, let's try this again. Outside of the frame, in, okay, and then you go through the loop. And then you just pull it up, just like that. Okay, so it's got this nice radius holding it. And then you've got this part laying right here flat to where you can adjust it. Right. Now we're going to finish these off. We have these straps on the bottom attached securely. So you got your adjustments here. Okay. Now what you want to do is just simply set your straps on with the cross buckle. Attach your quick neck so that you don't get confused. Now up at the top right here, this bar where this opening is, what you want to do now is you want to take this webbing. It's got the webbing and the little buckle. The little buckle with the teeth on it is just like the other buckles I was showing you. Now there's a little piece of metal right in here. See if you can see that. There's a little piece of metal in there. Nah, take my word for it. That's to keep this from sliding around in here. And what you want to do is you want to feed it through there and then pull it around, okay? Just like that. Now, just like last time, you want to come up in the middle, just like this, okay, where you're in the middle with the teeth right here. And then you want to go around so that the teeth will grip it. Let's see if we can get that in there. That webbing might be just a little bit wide, just like that. Okay. Now see, when I pull on that, it locks it in, but I can adjust it like that, or I can put my thumb under it and pull, and it should come undone just like that. See, in that direction, when this is pulled down, it'll come undone, but when it's forward, good and tight. Okay, now I'm going to leave mine adjusted about right there because this will be up over my shoulders. I'm going to leave probably about 3 fingers to begin with. Okay, now let me pull you down a little bit closer so we can get a close-up of this other side and make sure that you've got
a little piece of metal in there. Right there.
Alright, so you want to feed into the metal and up and around, just like that. Okay. You're looking at a smooth side and a side that's got the little teeth. You want to come straight up through the middle where the teeth are, just like that. And then fold over the teeth. Just like that. See? You tighten it up. Good and tight, pull it forward, and you can loosen it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it until there's about 3 fingers here, more, about 3 fingers there, about 3 fingers here. Now we are ready to load it up and see how it fits. So now that we have the backpack complete, all that's left now is to fill it up and test it. So what we have here on the table, this is what everything that I feel like I would need whenever I'm out on my own, and I can be out 1 to 2 days very comfortably with this, and if I had to, I could go 5 or 6 or 7 days with all this stuff. So what we're going to do is just in general what I may carry for a 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 day trip. We're going to pack all this stuff in there and put the pack on and adjust it and see how it feels and hike around. This pouch here, this is a Hidden Woodsman pouch too. It matches. Alright, so let's see what else we can stuff in here. Bug net. And let's see. Another kit. Let's see. Put that right in there. Alright, now we got a pretty full backpack there. So let's pull this up. Like that. Cinch that down. Throw it over in there. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's unzip the top here. We're going to put in our signal panel. Let's see, can you see that? Put in the signal panel. This is the emergency survival type gear. Signal panel, tack divvy, and reflective paracord. There's one more kit I'm going to put in there. Let's see, tent stakes. We'll put them in the top too. Alright, let's close that up. And we've got our straps that I'm going to show you something else about here in a minute. Pull that down. Click it. Wait a minute, that one goes over here. Click that one. And click that one. Alright. There we go. Got the top covered up nice. So here it is all packed up and ready to go. Got everything in the main compartment here, and then got everything in these pouches. One other thing I want to show you about is whenever you have packed any of these pouches that have the strip on it, once you put it on and adjust it, the ends of them all have this little Velcro right here. So that what you can do with them, depending on how much you have flopping around, hanging off, what you could do is you can put these underneath and they just velcro around and it locks them into place. See? So that way you don't have a bunch of stuff flopping around. Or you can pull them out and do a neater job like that. Just like that. So now one other thing I want to show you about this that's interesting. Okay, let's flip it around. Let's look at the back side of it. Okay, here's the backpack. Now, when the backpack sits like this, it has a tendency to very easily tip over. Okay, now that can be remedied very easily with a neat little trick that I do that I think is great that's built into this backpack. All right. Got a bunch of extra webbing sewn underneath here, and it's what the main webbing goes through that attaches to the lid. All right. And he's giving you plenty of extra length. So what you want to do is loosen these things up right here. Clip them back on. Alright, let's loosen that back up. Flip it back on. And what you can do now is you can pull it like this right here, and then you've got a place to cram something in here, like, I don't know, a wool blanket or a sleeping bag or a roll-up sleeping pad. So, let's try to cram. Actually, what I'm going to do to make it easier, I'm going to put my wool blanket in here just like this, kind of center it up, then grab it with that webbing, then come up and attach like that. Up here, pull out this, slide that on, right, pull that up, and attach it like that. So see, now I've got my wool blanket on there. So what you can do in a sense with that is it stands up on its own. Much, much better. Isn't that a beautiful pack? Alright, so now I just got to wait for Nick to get Nick to get home, and we're going to go out and try it out. One other thing that I forgot to talk about too is right here. I put the wool blanket under here where this webbing comes up to this quick disconnect. You can also do it to the top, because see how much webbing is in here? So you can loosen that up and put another piece across the top also. Alright, but I opt for putting it on the bottom down there, the heavier stuff. Like a wool blanket or a sleeping pad, I put on the bottom, and then if I'm going to put anything on the top, it'll be like something real lightweight up here. Okay, that was one other thing that I wanted to mention. We have our pack ready to go. Now, it's got a carrying handle, and I want to show you something here on this real quick for the adjustment. Now, I can't get real deep into the adjustment, but basically what you want to do with it is have these straps about 3 fingers away from this bar, because you don't want these too low, because you want the padding to cover your shoulders. Now, when you adjust these two, you want to make sure that the cross strap lines up pretty good. All right. Now, the way you want to put this thing on and adjust it is, remember what I said about having this, having the weight.
So that's how you put a backpack on.
Yes, that's how you
I
put
always
a backpack
wondered.
on.
I've been caring about handles this whole time.
Oh, and we have the ever-witty Nick on camera.
Ew.
Alright, so what you want to do, hang it on, alright? And remember I said everybody's got hips. Even if you got a little old man gut like I do, everybody's got hips.
Oof.
So what you want to do is take this, sort of lift up, and pull it tight like that. Okay? Now, this is the important part. These straps, you'll have them about 2 or 3 fingers away from the back. The adjustments for these straps are down here. Now, this is a little trick that I have figured out over the years, that when you have your waist belt on, you want this pack to flop just a little bit if you have a cross strap. Okay? That's how you adjust the cross strap perfectly. You have a little bit of flop on it. That way, when you pull this together like this, I can put a finger under here, or maybe 2 fingers, because a lot of people don't know this. Some do and some don't. These straps are not necessarily for holding up the weight. If they held up the weight, they dig into your shoulders. The only thing these are for is to keep the pack from flopping around like this. This pulls them together. So what you want to do is the proper adjustment. People have asked me how to adjust this. The proper adjustment for this is before you tighten it up, before you connect it, is to have these where the pack flops a little. All right. Now what you want to do is you want to grab these 2 and you want to kind of wiggle it on until this kidney belt here is sitting on your hips. See, I can give it a little bit more of a pull there. Now it's starting to get a little bit snug there. I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to make it any tighter because it's starting to cut into my old man gut here.
Yeah.
Anyway, see, I maybe let it off just a little. We're right there. Now see, the way this kidney belt wraps around my hips, it's actually sitting on my hips. The kidney belt is supposed to kind of hug you. And as you can see, I can put a little bit of room right in here. All right. Now, this pack, no matter what I put in it, all right, no matter what I put in it, this is set for me, unless I wear a winter coat. And I don't advise wearing a winter coat over something like this. If you're in extreme cold conditions and you need to bundle up, wrap a blanket around you or a poncho liner, or put over an anorak, or put a poncho on over you. Don't wear a coat under this, okay? But basically, this pack with the frame is now set for me. Packs that don't have frames, and this is why I don't like packs that don't have frames, packs with the kidney belt that don't have a frame, you have to adjust it every single time because the load in it acts differently. So, let's hike around now. Any questions, Nick?
No, that was a very entertaining video on how to equip a backpack.
Well, I just tell it like it is.
I am thoroughly intrigued right now.
You are thoroughly intrigued.
I am thoroughly intrigued.
All right, well, I am glad you're intrigued. Well, let's see how this thing feels. We're going uphill, which ain't too bad. Not bad at all, and then we're fixing to hit the woods. We're going to find a place to head in.
Yep.
And another thing is I wanted to make sure where this machete is, I wanted to make sure it wasn't interfering with the kidney belt because I've got the machete on my pants belt. Alright?
Alright.
Alright, I've been walking and it's pretty comfortable. This is kind of a ledge here. I'm going to crawl up it and crawl down it and kind of see how this pack feels. Look at that, Nick. Fat wood.
Nifty.
That was pretty comfortable right there. Look at that golden yellow color, orangey color in there.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna come back to that on the way back. All right. Let's go further and see what else we can get into.
All right.
So what we have here is another nice obstacle. We have a tree that's sort of hanging up there. So sometimes when you have to cross trees, cross creeks and things, and ditches or gullies, I like to feel how a backpack feels when I cross. So let's walk across there. All right. No problem there. Backpack's still nice and comfortable. I'm not feeling much pressure on my shoulders. I'm still feeling it on my hips. Could stand a little more tightening.
Cool.
Let's go further. So I don't always hike trails, and there's a bunch of obstacles here. So I'm gonna see how I do on these obstacles, because I do so much off-trail hiking. I'm gonna go into that.
Now remember, when you are backpacking in the woods, it is vital to crawl on across the ground under it instead of going over it.
There you go. Now, that's pretty extreme. That was pretty extreme crawling under that, and in most cases you won't have to. The backpack made it. The machete is what was kind of stabbing me more than anything. So, how about this go up here? Look at that. How about this? Let's see if I can see how thick that is.
I'm not quite sure I could get through that.
Well, I'm gonna see if I can go through there with a backpack.
This should be fun. If I were editing the videos, I would have put silly music to this part.
You would have said what?
If I were editing the videos, I would have put silly music to this part. I wonder how many ticks we're going to have on us after this. Boy, this is fun.
How's that? You ain't got to come through. I'll go around.
I may as well at this point. I feel like this video is probably making everyone nauseous. That's fun.
Made it through that.
I don't think you can go through anything worse than that,
Probably not. I don't normally go through anything worse than that.
except sliding down that hill.
Let me run back and get my rope, and we're going to go down this hill.
Do it. Slide down it. Something flying around my head.
A lot of people.
This doesn't work when you're holding a portable camera mount.
Oh, okay. Well, if it was late in the evening, then the bugs would be worse. Now, a lot of people, whenever they review a backpack or test a backpack or whatever, they will put it on and hike with it and see how it works. But I crawl up things, climb over things, balance on things, crawl under things, and sometimes in the summer, the cooler air lands in the valleys. So when Nick and I go to the mountains in the summers, sometimes we'll tie a rope up for safety and kind of use it to guide us down. So in the pulling action, when you're moving your arms like this, you can tell a lot about a backpack when you're doing that. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tie this rope off right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see. Now this is not a real extreme.
I'm fixing to lose those letters flying around my head right now.
Is it? There's a big old bug on your hat too.
Probably it because I don't hear it right now.
This is not a real extreme hill here, but it's enough of an elevation that I can stretch my arms out and see how I feel about the way this pack acts whenever I'm going downhill. So I'm going to go down as far as the rope will go. and I'm going to see how it feels. And I want to see if this rope, let me lock that in. We have to do that double lock. There we go. Alright. And I want to feel how this thing feels when it goes over the top here. Put an arm under, and then I got this hand right here. Now, I'm at the end of the rope. Now I'm going to simulate. It didn't feel too bad, and it didn't interfere with the backpack. So what I'm going to do now, lean in and walk up. Lean in and walk up. Lean in and walk up.
I know I'm just waltzing around without a rope, but you probably still want to use one if you're carrying a pack.
Listen, I already explained, this is not a real radical, steep decline. And
That is probably.
yeah, that is, but you wouldn't
Actually,
be able
especially over there.
to, yeah, but you wouldn't be able to film it. So before all of you out there start telling me I'm just a candy boy, I'm doing this so that it can be filmed. Now something's happening here. The rope is getting in the way. Well, you're not. In reality, you're not supposed to be here behind me.
Oh, is he gonna make it, everybody? Oh, this is the final climb. Oh, watch out for that slippery slope. Is Dave in the hospital last time we're watching this?
All right, now I don't recommend doing this on a real, like a cliff. Just if you have an incline that you're afraid that you're going to fall down, this does pretty good. Now, if I hold this up in the air, it clears the backpack plenty, okay? And like I say, the way you want to do this is you wrap your arm around it, just like that. Let the rope out, keep it up high with this hand, and that's how you go down. And the way you go up, lean in, walk up, just like that. Alright, so let's get back on flat land over there so that we can talk about this a little bit more.
Alright.
So that's it. That's about as comprehensive of a test as I'm going to do today, and I feel pretty confident that this thing feels great. It does feel a lot better than the original Alice, and I don't know, it's like these shoulder straps don't dig in as bad, and it may be because they're a little bit more narrow, and the kidney belt on the original Alice is not as wide. It doesn't come all the way around to your hips, and so it winds up falling down. So, and but anyway, this thing, I like it. Me and it's going to be friends. It's done pretty good for the way I use a pack. It's done a great job. So, let's take one more look at it next. Is the bedroll still in there straight?
Yeah, it's still in there just fine.
Okay, well then the straps did its job.
Get a shot of that.
All right.
Sit. There we go. Nice patch there. Looks good.
Alrighty. Excuse the old man gut. Now, hopefully, the next video is going to be the one that I was telling you about the Jungle Machete Showdown. And I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to give my honest opinion because I paid for all those machetes out of my pocket. So whatever I don't like, you'll know. I didn't get none of them for free. So anyway, here it is. Hidden Woodsmen Tropical Lightweight Backpack. It passes my test. So next time we go camping, Nick's going to wear this and he's going to tell me what he thinks about it. So anything you want to add, Nick?
I already know what I'm going to put in the side pouches, and I think everybody else knows as well.
3, 2, 1.
Lighter fluid.
That's it. All right. Y'all get out. Y'all enjoy life. You only get one life. Make the most of it. And we shall see you in the next one.
See you later.